But it also makes things easier if you spend the time to get the weapons and stuff. You can just become you go in a conflict zone, you just become a god almost. You can kill nearly everything within seconds.
Yeah, so one of the things I've noticed is the engineer upgrades are really powerful actually. The change, if you were to quantify it, is like 50, say 80% change in the effectiveness of your ship.
Yeah.
It's not a small change. It is a meaningful change. So I mean, it certainly makes the non-Horizons players a little obsolete in PvP, and it makes their job, I think, a lot tougher in general PvE. Because the higher level ships now are going to be quite tough to deal with.
In PvP, if you don't have horizons, you don't have any like engineer mods, you're kind of screwed if your opponent does. There's
Right.
no stopping there's no stopping that.
Yeah. Well, you see, the thing is it's a little different than most MMOs where you can say, okay, there's this land, there's this like dungeons that can be unlocked, there's this world that you can teleport to, and that's the only thing that's unlocked in the expansion. But you can't do that here because the entire galaxy's already been unlocked, and so you're gonna have you're gonna have to basically make it content itself, items and equipment that are new things, and you also have it since it's not new land. I mean, these people are in the same location as they were before the upgrade, and so yeah, you're gonna have this overlap between non-Horizons and Horizons users, and it's
But
unavoidable, really.
didn't they say that they will let engineers also on the stations?
Engineers on the stations? Oh, so that non-Horizons. Who said this?
Mm, I think I heard something. I maybe on Reddit.
Someone
What, so you have them in
suggesting it,
stations?
or an actual dev or community manager promising it?
To be honest, I don't remember exactly.
No, I disagree with the kind of like allowing everybody to get the engineers then, because kind of makes buying the expansion
I
slightly
mean,
obsolete.
what's the point of getting the materials if they can't get to the engineers then?
But yeah, that's also something that was quite strange because people had bought the normal game and then they didn't buy Horizons and here they were picking stuff up and they had no idea what to use it for.
Yeah.
It's possible the devs could implement
Uh,
something that
ma-
those
ma-
materials can be
yeah,
used for
maybe
if you don't
engineers.
have Horizons.
Yeah, maybe engineers is for on the planets are just like
Well, still there's
premium for those who have horizons, but later on they will come to uh, 1.0 also.
still upgrades they won't be able
Zero.
to get because
Yeah.
things like polonium and yttrium you can only find on the surface. So while they can get materials in space and some of the elements, I guess you
Yeah.
can get them from missions. I've gotten polonium from a mission, but it's a lot slower to find. But
The
yeah.
majority of materials that you can find if you don't have horizons are through mining, and those are only common, which means they're only useful for the synthesis, like FST injection, munitions,
That's true. Yeah.
etc.
uh, Can a non-Horizons user actually do a synthesis?
Yeah,
Yeah,
of
should be
course.
able to.
Okay. I don't know. I have Horizons.
Go to your inventory and you'll see synthesize.
No, but I have Horizons, so I know I can do it. But I'm talking about people without Horizons.
But
Well,
but
we could all start without horizons.
yeah. Can you get vanadium, germanium, stuff like that? Gymponium?
I don't think we can get those two. No, just I don't think we get anything other than common
So
from mining.
if you were to get the lowest level jump, it would only require germanium and vanadium.
Are those
And
common or standard?
I think they're standard.
basic. Uh,
Two. I think they're two. I could take a look.
yeah. Vanadium, germanium, standard are also
Yeah.
cadmium, niobium.
When you actually look at germanium, it says collected on planet surfaces and from asteroids, which means it can be mined.
Hmm.
So, regarding engineers and for instance power play, we certainly have seen a decrease in undermining, but I think I looked at the stats and they seem to be climbing back up. The overall activity has climbed back up to about 80 to 90% of what it was.
Well, no, not quite, because what you're seeing is a lot of people moving into the expansions, combat expansions especially, because, well, who wouldn't want to do combat expansions with no risk and guaranteed 50 million at the end of the next cycle, plus whatever the moronic AI ended up dropping. But you're not seeing increases in organized undermining, for example. And the easiest way to tell that is that Mahone doesn't really need to fortify anything. You're also not seeing Winters fortifying anything either.
Well, it certainly made the game a lot more deliberate and tactical because you don't have all these like 50% of everything's fortified and undermined or 80% or something like that. You see only
True.
small parts, and I think that was actually the original dev goal because I remember back in week 5, which is probably one of the original reasons we started AOS in the first place, was that whoa, I went too far there. Um, was
Clicked
that
over me.
they moved the triggers up by a factor of 5. Because originally the triggers were a lot lower, both the undermining and fort triggers. And basically what happened is that every single power was capable of fortifying and undermining to 100%. And then once they changed it there, they said, and when they changed it, they said we want to make things more deliberate and tactical or strategic, and have it so that there's only a few systems that you can fortify and a few systems you can undermine, so that you really have to think about things more carefully. And that's when we actually started. You approached me, and we started figuring, well, how should we prioritize which ones we do fortify if we can't fortify them all?
Well, yeah, but you're also in a. We're going to be watching an interesting result of the dangerous games if EG not only wins but also continues to deliver the amount of support to their power that they've gotten in the game so far. Because the amount of player support they're getting means that they will be pretty much capable of undermining every single power.
Yeah, if they have that player power and they're willing to go ahead and go undermining, yeah, that seems possible. I mean, the number of players that we've approximated, and you've put in some spreadsheets where you've given some estimates based on certain statistical guesses, and I think that we found that there were maybe on the order of a couple hundred in even the bigger powers.
Yeah, rank 5 players. Basically, you just take the like take a combat expansion with 2 million merits. That is essentially 400 rank 5 players maintaining it. Or if you're in a power where you know you're not always going to get an expansion, then you need 10,000 instead, and then you're dropping it to 200 rank 5 players.
By the way, Vectron, people are saying that you're a bit quiet. Um, I think I'm not sure if I can up the stream volume beyond my own volume. I'll try it a bit. Hopefully, yeah.
Yeah, you can go to Discord and ramp up.
Okay. Yeah, I'll do that next jump. Stand by.
Yeah, but if it's
Oh, there we go.
essentially on Discord, then it's my end. Then it won't help if you fix it.
I think you're a bit louder now. I hear you a bit louder.
Yeah, because Steven is streaming, so
Okay, so let's see. Audio, where's that? Voice. Output volume? Raise the output volume?
yeah, yeah, exactly, yeah, output volume.
Okay.
Just click on his
Okay,
name
well now,
and
now everyone's louder to me, certainly.
I
Okay.
mean, you can click just on his name and put it louder in
Oh, okay.
Discord.
Let me do that. I'll do that on next jump.
Yeah, kind of like
That
TeamSpeak.
there is user volume. You can put it to 200%.
Okay.
Over 9,000.
User volume. Oh, there it is. I see it now. Okay. Let me change the Discord back down a bit. Okay, how's that, guys?
I think he should talk and then we'll
Yeah.
see.
Vectron?
Give us some words of wisdom, Vectron.
I'm trying to remember the lyrics to Mother Mary.
What about Rick Astley?
Or if you're gonna start singing, that's it.
All right,
It's
fine.
over.
I'm never going to give you up.
Yeah.
And the volume will go down.
Funny, it's muted apparently.
Yeah, I wonder why.
Wait, did I just get Steam message, or did someone else just get Steam message? I think I
I
did.
thought that you could hear someone else team message.
Well, if they're on speakers.
Then it would be you because I'm not hearing anything.
Yeah.
Okay. Is this scoopable? The thing is actually these T-Towery stars look very similar to M's and K's and things like that.
Yeah.
It's hard to tell.
On a completely different subject, just momentarily, do ice worlds not have any reserves?
What do you mean?
When you look at them in the system map, usually you get a info on common reserves, depleted reserves, blah blah blah. Not getting that on this particular system.
You should get it on all of them.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Thargoids. So what have you heard regarding, so the EG, they're doing pretty well in the dangerous games. Maybe they'll be added in.
I'm
Do you
gonna
know
so
anything?
enjoy
Do you know anything
undermining them.
about them, first of all? Do you know anything? Does anyone know much
A
about them?
massive group of Russian players.
Yeah, I'm gonna so enjoy undermining them.
Yeah, well, if they're going to be an organized, good group in power play, it'd be nice to get more activity. I mean,
I've been comparing their success to, the Soviet invasion of Nazi Germany. They're on their way to Berlin, and they're not going to stop till they get their power.
And then they will fail after they get it.
Yeah, pretty much. We'll see what happens.
well, it also depends on how the devs, where they put them, and how they treat a small power like that, how many systems they give them. I mean, the
Outside
overheads are
of
going to be so minimal for them, they'll have no trouble expanding at first. Although there's not really many good systems left, as everyone knows.
I would.
There are a lot of
Can you hear me?
interesting factions.
Hey,
I would
Shepard.
sort of
Dangerous
expect
game.
them to introduce yet another wave of uh, yeah. Sorry, my mind is just failing for a moment. Like in 1.4, when we suddenly got new systems with populations.
Right, yeah.
Maybe.
And hopefully they remember to update the actual power play so that they give credit for those systems. Yeah. So there was a time, I think, where they gave us new systems, but the system we already had that added them in didn't actually give us the new CC. So we were debating actually purposely losing the system and recovering it so we could get it refreshed with the more CC. By the way, guys, if anyone has questions about power play or any other aspects of the game, I mean, we have some people here, which I think are fair experts on the subject, and they'd be more than happy to answer any level of question from absolute newbie to experienced veteran.
Yeah, I mean, we put up with Steven all the time, so why not?
I thought you were going to say Sandro for a second there.
Yeah. We put up with Sancho talking about power play, so I think we have the right to. Nah, he's